One thing about our finances is that it's not always pretty. When I make these videos, I don't want you guys to think for a second that I have it all figured out. I know exactly what I'm doing and like we're just all set all the time, because we're not. And you're gonna see in today's video that sometimes it's challenging. Sometimes you have to pivot with your finances and figure out, okay, this isn't gonna work. What else can I do? What else is there? How can I make this work with what I have? Trying to pay off your house in 5 years, there's nothing easy about it, even though people try to come up with every excuse in the book with how we're doing this. At the end of the day, it's literally just us sending a certain amount of money to our mortgage every single month. That mathematically tells us we will be able to have it paid off in X amount of years. So we got paid this week, which is always fun. So our balance came down a little bit. This is where we are at today, high 44,000s. Now it's time to just make sure that everything is all set with the money that's left over and plan for these medical expenses that I keep talking about. If you didn't see that, my son stuffed something way up his nose, went to the doctor. He could not get it out without putting him to sleep. He tried and tried, and there was just stuff up there. In the moment, just worried about, is he gonna be okay? Like, this is very scary. Now that it's done, he got it out, he's all squared away, he can breathe better and everything. Now the medical expenses and bills are coming in and coming in and coming in. So right now our running total is just over $2,000 for all of that. That's from the anesthesia, the surgery center, the in-office visit where they try to get it taken out, the doctor's charges. Yes, we do have a higher deductible with our insurance. This is probably the most that we spent on medical expenses ever, aside from when I gave birth to my kids. It's just sometimes you can't predict stuff. Even to this day, after all these expenses have come up, I still would rather pay more in the event that something happens rather than pay more on my paycheck in the unlikely event that something happens. That's just my opinion. We're gonna look at all of that today, so let's just hop in. Starting up at the top left corner, you guys know this is where we do our budget every month, every payday. We estimated $3,200 for money this week. We actually ended up getting about $3,350. So my husband did get a little bit of a raise at work, thankfully. Every little bit counts. Right away, we sent $2,625 to the mortgage to get to our goal of sending $4,500 to the principal. Interest this month was just under $125. So we sent that little bit extra. This is all the spending that we've had so far. The middle column is our debit cards, so we don't track that as closely. Most of what I'm seeing here is eaten out, but hey, we gotta just treat ourselves somehow. The outer two columns are credit cards. I do highlight the things in blue that we have the money sitting in our savings account already waiting to get paid. So I know the stuff in black is the stuff that I need to come up with that money. It does tally it up in the bottom right hand corner. So from this paycheck, I need to come up with, and actually I'm going to talk about this $44 later, but I'm going to leave that off. So I need to come up with about $120 for expenses of stuff that we don't already have the money for. Now over here with the expenses, so we already put the money aside for these expenses that we pay typically by the end of the month. It looks like it's about I think I have like $11.70 in there, but I adjusted that our electric bill did go down, added in League Pass in there. Now with a gas bill, the gas company made a mistake. I mean, it worked out in my favor, but it's a little bit annoying. So as I talked about before, every May we get our gas disconnected because nothing in our house runs on gas except for the heat, the furnace. So we get it disconnected for the summer. And we just got it turned back on this month, so it was off for about 5 months. That saves us money because they charge like this huge fee because technically your gas is available to you, but you're just not using it. It's at least $50 nowadays, $50 a month. So that saves us a decent amount of money. I bargained for the $50 reconnection fee that they charge. However, whoever I talked to, instead of connecting it to the existing account that I already have on the gas company, they created a new account, which was confusing because I kept logging into the app and it was still saying my account was closed. And then I got an email with a bill for like $19 and something for like 10 days of service. Finally, I reached out to them. They're like, yeah, basically the person made a mistake. So the good news is I don't have to pay that reconnect fee because you guys made that mistake. But it was just confusing, and it's like I have to set up my bill pay, so I'm sending it to a new account number and all of these things. Whatever. Bill is, let's just say $20. Because it's like 19 something for a week worth of service. So the one thing I kind of feel, and it's kind of frustrating, honestly, a part of me feels like I don't know if I want to keep getting this gas service disconnected, seasonally disconnected to save money. But it also is like, one thing you can count on with companies, and maybe that's just my anxiety and just like how my brain works and how I just get really overwhelmed quickly. I just feel like if you give a company the opportunity to mess something up, there's always that opportunity for them to mess something up. When I got it turned off, basically there was an error on their part. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. So I ended up getting another bill for my gas, even though I had called to get it disconnected, and they had to rectify this whole thing. And I don't have time. Like, I don't have time for places to always mess stuff up. And it's really annoying. And then it's like confusion with getting the bill turned back on. It's just like, I don't know. I want to keep doing it and I want to keep saving that money, but then it's also just like, if I give you the opportunity to mess something up, you're going to take it. It's hard to explain. I don't know if anybody gets what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so like I said, $11.70 sitting in our expenses fund. Right now we have $10.50 worth of bills though. So that's going to be like at least $100 that I have sitting there that I might just leave. So with what's left over from our paycheck this time, I sent $500 to taxes, $100 to Christmas sinking fund. So that's a total of $600. That left us with about, let's say, $140-ish. That's gonna really cover that credit card that we need to pay on, $120 something. So that's what that's gonna do for us there. As for the other card, this is actually something that I kind of misbudgeted last month. I did not plan for the 5 grocery trips we had last month. I planned for 4. But then we also have that extra $100, $120-ish in the expenses sinking fund, so it literally works out. Everything else here on this card is money that we have sitting in that fund already. Walmart, we went to Walmart last night and we got stuff for our kids. So here's the thing. We've had this thing for years where we have $1,000 for each kid in a high yield savings account, and I know I talked about this in a different video. It has not been near $1,000 for a while because we've been leaning on it so much with us trying to just meet the amount of money that we need to send to the mortgage every month. So we've been using it when we need to use it. As of today, one is at $665, the other is at $355. So that's about $1,000, but that's for both kids. Obviously, full capacity would be $2,000. So here's my plan. Since that was for the kids, we're going to use that $60 from the kids sinking fund. The $44 I was talking about for the outing we had yesterday, also for the kids. That's about $105-ish. Let's just say $105. We're going to use that money to pay for that from the kids sinking fund. Obviously, once the house is paid off next year, we want to put this back into a great spot. I mean, that's what it's there for. It's there in case we need it, in case stuff comes up. And then once things are not so tight next year, we want to fund that back up completely. Another thing that we actually want to use this for is funding their 529. So we had a goal at the beginning of the year to do $1,000 to their 529 this year. As of right now, the end of October, we are at like $500 for the year. And I haven't even talked about everything we have coming up for the rest of the year. But the point is that we aren't going to come up with that $500. So I want to use their sinking fund to put $500 in their 529 so we can meet that goal, plus fund their future. Plus, in my state, it is an income state tax deduction. That's what we're going to use it for. I was going to wait and just say, hey, if we come up with that money by December, then we could just use, our checks out of pocket to fund it. But at this point, money is really tight. We have a lot of things to pay. I just don't see it happening. Why not go ahead and fund that money now and contribute it now and not have to worry about it for the rest of the year? If we get that money back or like some type of surplus of money, we can put that back to funding their savings account after all the other expenses we have. So that's that. Now, I am expecting a little bit more money next week because for one, I'm supposed to be getting my first paycheck from YouTube, which is literally from 3 weeks of being monetized on YouTube. After taxes, it's probably gonna be like $100. But I'm also getting like $45 from my Etsy shop next week. So that's like $145. All of that money has to go to medical expenses. And let me tell you guys where we're at. So medical costs, everything in bold and stuff like that, we've already paid. With my dental work I had done, it turns out I'm gonna still owe them $300. Need to come up with that. Everything for my son's visits with him needing surgery from last month, all of that costs from the office visit, the surgery, the doctor's expenses, the anesthesiologist, all of that tallied here in the bottom right is over $2,000. Plus my dermatology visit, $2,200. Plus my dental expenses, $2,500. That's overwhelming. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't worry about money because I feel like we always figure it out, even if we don't have it, like we don't have that money right now. But that's overwhelming. Knowing that you owe $2,500 worth of stuff and you do not have that money, that's overwhelming. But with our mortgage, that's our main thing. I fully expect to have everything paid soon. I'm not putting anything aside for the mortgage. Like, that's our goal, is to pay this mortgage off, and we're gonna do it. Like, if I haven't said it already, money is tight. It's been tight for a long time. I remember a video earlier this year I made where I was just like, guys, money is tight and it's getting to me. It's hard. Like, this is hard what we're doing. It's not easy. It's not, oh, we have this, we have that. Yes, we're very blessed to have a 2-income household, absolutely. But this is hard, and sometimes it gets to you. And honestly, the only thing I'm kicking myself about this year is not contributing to our HSA. I guess I was also like, I knew that there was an option to contribute to our HSA from our paycheck, and I just really didn't like that commitment. But now that I kind of look into a little bit more and educated myself a little bit more on the portal, I see that I can actually do it from my bank account too. So that is a little bit easier for me to just make that commitment instead of saying I have to get it out of my paycheck. Anyway, like you guys see, we still have $2,500 worth of medical expenses. So my goal is to, anything that we're going to pay towards it, we are going to put it in our HSA, get that tax deduction if we can, because why not? If you're going to pay medical expenses, get a tax deduction for doing so. So this is where we're at. This week, I contributed $60 from my bank account into the HSA. Nowhere near enough, I know. We have $250 in our medical expenses sinking fund. And right now in our bank account, because of money from TikTok, I have an additional $230 to contribute to the HSA. That's after I put money aside for taxes, which honestly, what I'm hoping is that with these tax deductions, we still won't owe any money. I've been putting money aside throughout the year from all of the side hustle and other type of income we've had. Social media, TikTok, services I provide, and that money is going to be at close to $1,000 after I put the money aside this time. I'm hoping we're not even going to owe that money and we can end up putting it towards something else, hopefully. But that $60, the $230 that I have from TikTok, the $250 that we already had, all of that comes to about $540. So out of the $2,500 we need, we have about $540 of it. That leaves us with about $2,000 that we still need. So here's my plan. 3 paycheck month in November. And usually we'll use that money to send an extra $2,000 to the mortgage, which we still plan to do. Even after the $2,000, I'm thinking that we will have about $1,300 left over that we typically would like beef up our savings with that or put it towards something else. So that's $1,300 that I'm going to plan to put to our HSA as well for medical expenses for this extra $2,000 that we need. $2,000 minus $1,300, that's $700 that we'll still need. So I have another plan. Right now in our tax sinking fund, which, hear me out guys, I know, hear me out. I've done this once before when stuff came up during this journey. Right now in our sinking fund for our property taxes, we have $2,940. I typically will put $500 a month towards that. And I did do that this month already. But I'm thinking I might not put $500 aside in November for that. And the reason I know that's doable is because our property taxes, we pay them on our own. Obviously, we don't have escrow. That's not due until February. For this year, let's say it was about $2,600 to $2,700 for the 6 months in February of this year for 6 months of the property taxes. So we already have that money. Like the money that's due in February, we already have that money sitting in there. Also, we'll use this money for other taxes if they come up, but we still have December to contribute $500, January and February. We're expecting to be $1,500 more. That's about $4,500 that we'll have by February. Short answer, we're good. We'll still have everything we need for that. We always have a surplus, honestly. Anytime we pay a property tax bill, like officially take that money out, we still have money left over just because we have over contributed. If that leaves us with like $200 that I would 100% expect us to be able to get by next month. It's just like, Mrs. Make It Happen right here. And Mrs. Make It Happen. Now, honestly, I can't wait until we have all these expenses paid for. I want it to be done. And honestly, it's a combination of me being on leave of absence and us just going to appointments back to back to back with those expenses adding up. And then now this emergency basically that came up that we just could not plan for. $2,000 emergency. I'm so transparent on here. I tell you guys exactly, like, this is literally exactly it. Like, this is what my plans are. Like, I don't have anything else up my sleeve. This is it. And I'm just thinking that by end of November, we will have it all paid. We make it happen. Sometimes you have to pivot. Sometimes you have to say, this isn't gonna work, let's do this. This isn't gonna work, let's do that. And you just have to make it happen. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys would do in my situation. I think this is their best option. I appreciate my mindset of thinking outside the box sometimes and just doing what you have to do to get it done. That's what savings are there for. Like, we've been having this money here, especially like our kids' sinking fund for a rainy day, and doing this now and just holding on a little bit longer. And it's tight, yes, but just keep pushing through. And 8 months from now, 9 months from now, we will have the money there to just completely fund our lifestyle. And people always just ask, like, what are you gonna do once the house is paid off? First off, I'm saving as much as we can. Like, I'm contributing to this HSA. Like, I wanna max out our deductible completely. That's number one. I wanna put money aside for kids' expenses. Like, if I'm in this boat right now that I'm in, where I'm just like, okay, we really need to lean into like the sinking fund for our kids. We need to lean into this. I wanna prepare for that. I want to stack money and just have everything already sitting there waiting for us. So you just never know what could happen, and we're doing what we have to do right now to get to the finish line. This isn't easy, y'all. But thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe if you are new to me just tying all the chaos together and just making it look easy.